Awaken your spirit-chosen ones. There's a certain thrill in being the talk of the town, especially when the whispers paint you as the villain in someone else's story. You know, the immaculate, unapologetic type who didn't just ruffle a few feathers but shattered entire egos and walked away without a backward glance. They're calling you cold-hearted, unfeeling, maybe even ruthless. But let's be honest, you're just the chosen one. Misunderstood and unbothered, navigating life with a touch of brutal honesty and an undeniable magnetism. People gossip because they don't know how to handle you. They can't quite figure out how someone could be so fiercely independent, so comfortable in the shadows, and so devastatingly skilled at making clean, final cuts. You're not the hero, not the villain, just an unfiltered presence who doesn't flinch when others fumble. And as for those you've left behind, they'll keep talking. After all, it's hard to forget someone who challenged their illusions, exposed their weaknesses, and left them staring at their own insecurities in the mirror. So sit back and watch as the story unfolds. Because in a world full of egos, you didn't just crush a few, you redefined the game entirely. At number 1, the weaponized aura. The chosen one walks into a room and instantly commands it, not by what they say, but by something less obvious, something people can't quite put their finger on. It's an energy, a presence that's equal parts mystique and intensity. They don't seek the spotlight, yet it seems to find them, casting everyone else into the shadow. There's no frantic need to prove themselves. Instead, there's a calm, almost unsettling confidence that they carry with ease. This is where they become both feared and endlessly fascinating, because in a world where most people wear their insecurities on their sleeves, here's someone who appears untouched by doubt. It's not that they're mysterious in the usual sense. They're not just hiding secrets, but radiating a level of self-assurance that feels almost weaponized. People are drawn in, almost hypnotized by this aura, yet wary, as if sensing a hidden blade. There's a subtle calculation to their every move, as if they've already analyzed the dynamics in the room and figured out exactly how much of themselves to reveal. This unpredictability makes others nervous, as if they're standing on the edge of something they can't see but can definitely feel. They're left wondering if this confidence comes from something sinister, or simply from a deeper understanding of things most people can't grasp. It's this magnetic duality, at once approachable yet untouchable, that keeps people gossiping. They wonder if this person is an ally or a threat, a hero or a villain. They feel the pull to get closer, to understand, but at the same time they sense that this person holds a power that could dismantle the comfort of their own illusions. And in that quiet storm of curiosity and intimidation, the chosen one remains silent, knowing full well the impact their presence has. Number 2, confidence as a form of warfare. Confidence is something people usually aim to keep in check. A little modesty here, a little humility there. But the chosen one? They don't play by those rules. Their confidence is bold, unfiltered, and undeniable, almost like a silent weapon they wear with ease. They aren't loud or boastful, yet they don't apologize for their power. They don't hide their strengths to make others feel comfortable. And that makes people nervous because they're not used to someone who seems completely secure in themselves without any need for outside validation. Their confidence isn't a shield, it's an edge. While others fumble for words or cautiously gauge the room, the chosen one just is, fully present, fully aware. They speak with purpose, move with intention, and don't waste energy on pointless debates. There's an eerie calm about them, as if they already know they don't have to prove themselves. This certainty, something people can sense even if they don't fully understand it, comes off as powerful, almost dangerous. It's the confidence of someone who isn't afraid to stand alone and won't bend to fit someone else's comfort zone. Others talk because this kind of presence is rare. Most people operate with a layer of self-doubt, a need for approval, a drive to fit in. The chosen one's unapologetic certainty challenges that. It's as if they're saying without words that they don't need anyone's approval. To some, that's inspiring. To others, it's unnerving. There's no safety net, no softening around the edges. They don't look for reassurance, and they won't apologize if their mere existence ruffles some feathers. And it's that very confidence, quiet, steady, and untamed, that unsettles those who can't figure out where it comes from. Number 3, the ego slayer's precision. When the chosen one decides to cut someone off, it isn't the result of a quick emotional reaction. It's calculated, almost surgical, a cold, deliberate act that feels both unsettling and impressive. They don't ghost or disappear in a huff of drama. They simply choose to remove themselves with a level of detachment that's hard to ignore. To them, cutting someone off is about preserving their energy, protecting their boundaries, and making it clear they won't entertain anything that undermines their values or self-respect. This isn't the act of someone looking for attention or making a scene. It's a quiet but firm decision that sends an unmistakable message. They won't settle for less, and they don't need anyone who doesn't align with their standards. It's this level of self-respect that others often can't understand. Many people stay connected to avoid discomfort, to keep the peace, or simply out of habit. But the chosen one's approach is different. They know who they are and what they're willing to accept, and they won't compromise just to avoid friction. This kind of precise detachment can feel brutal to those on the receiving end. People left behind can't help but feel the sting of rejection, wondering how they were so easily dismissed. It forces them to confront their own egos, to face the reality that they were only a chapter in someone else's story. They're left questioning what went wrong, trying to make sense of the unspoken rules the chosen one lives by. And that's the power of this cutoff. It's not just an ending, it's a mirror, reflecting back the insecurities of those who thought they were irreplaceable. The chosen one's exit is both unsettling and unforgettable, a reminder that some people have mastered the art of leaving without looking back. Number 4, unsettlingly comfortable in the shadows. The chosen one isn't afraid of the dark parts of life or of themselves. In fact, they're most comfortable there, thriving in places others tend to avoid. They don't feel the need to share every detail or wear their heart on their sleeve. Instead, they embrace mystery, living with layers that only they truly understand. This calm embrace of their own shadows makes them different, and to some, a little intimidating. People want to believe that everyone's an open book, that they can read people as easily as a headline. But the chosen one challenges that, existing in a way that others can't easily decode. It's not that they're hiding something scandalous. They're just deeply in tune with their complexity and are content to keep it private. They know that not everything needs to be explained, and they're okay with being misunderstood. They know that some parts of themselves are best kept for those who truly see them, not for the casual onlookers who would only reduce their complexity to a stereotype. This comfort in their own shadow, in their own silence, is powerful. It keeps people guessing, wondering what's beneath the surface. Most people try to fit in, to smooth out their rough edges for the sake of acceptance, but not the chosen one. They wear their uniqueness unapologetically, and in doing so, they become more captivating, more alluring. People gossip about them, trying to fill in the blanks, to make sense of someone so quietly self-assured. There's something both fascinating and unsettling about a person who doesn't need constant affirmation, who moves confidently in their own space, unafraid of solitude. Their presence feels like a paradox, both inviting and untouchable, both familiar and foreign. And in that paradox, they become unforgettable, leaving others wondering, always wanting to know more but sensing they never will. Number 5, a truth-driven villain. The chosen one has a way of seeing right through people, straight past the surface-level personas to the truths hiding underneath. They don't just accept appearances. They see into the intentions, insecurities, and vulnerabilities that most try to keep hidden. It's not out of malice. They simply have a knack for observing what others miss, for catching the details and signals that reveal who someone really is. And when they speak, they don't sugarcoat or hold back to make people feel more comfortable. They're blunt, unfiltered, and deliver truths that often feel like a punch to the ego. This isn't done to hurt anyone, but because they value authenticity above all else. The chosen one doesn't see the point in letting people live in illusions, even if those illusions are comforting. So, when they do speak up, it's almost always to pull back the curtain, to reveal the realities others would rather not face. And it's this honesty that unsettles people. Most aren't used to being seen so clearly, and even fewer are ready to be confronted with their own shortcomings. While others might dance around the truth, softening their words, the chosen one dives straight to the heart of things, often exposing fragile egos without a second thought. People might call them cruel, heartless, even ruthless, but it's not that they're out to harm anyone. They simply refuse to dilute the truth for the sake of sparing feelings. They're willing to hold up a mirror and make people see what's really there, not what they want to see. This level of honesty is rare, and while it can sting, it's also what draws people in, even if reluctantly. In the end, those who can handle it walk away with a new sense of clarity, but those who can't are often left reeling, unsure whether to admire or resent the person who forced them to confront their own reflection. Number 6. Cutting ties as a display of freedom. When the chosen one decides to let someone go, it's a quiet, almost seamless act that comes from a place of strength rather than anger or bitterness. They don't hold on to relationships out of obligation or fear of loneliness. Instead, they approach connections with a deep sense of freedom, understanding that not everyone is meant to stay. To them, relationships aren't about ownership or attachment, but about mutual respect and growth. If that's no longer there, they don't hesitate to move on. This self-assured ability to cut ties when necessary can be unsettling for those left behind. It's not that they're cold-hearted. They simply know the value of their energy and won't waste it on people who don't respect their boundaries. They understand that staying in a relationship out of guilt or nostalgia only drains them, and they aren't afraid to choose themselves first. While many people cling to relationships out of habit or fear of change, the chosen one sees parting ways as a form of liberation. They don't need anyone to complete them. They're whole on their own. So when they walk away, it's a powerful reminder that they refuse to be tethered to anyone or anything that no longer serves them. This freedom makes them different, even intimidating. People are drawn to them but can also feel challenged by their sense of autonomy. For some, it feels like rejection, as if they weren't good enough to keep around. But the truth is, the chosen one's detachment isn't personal. It's a reflection of their commitment to living authentically, even if it means letting go. They aren't ruthless. They're simply uncompromising in their values. And while people might talk about them as though they're heartless, deep down, they envy that level of freedom, that ability to say goodbye without a trace of regret. Number 7. The outsider's wisdom. The chosen one has a way of seeing the world that sets them apart. They don't look at things through the same lens as everyone else, and it's not because they think they're above anyone. It's because they've always felt different, more like an observer than a participant. This distance has given them a certain kind of wisdom, the kind that comes from listening, noticing, and understanding more than they speak. They're not interested in following the usual paths or clinging to the same beliefs everyone else holds. They question, they dig deeper, and they're comfortable with answers that most people would rather avoid. This outsider perspective gives them insights others might never consider. They don't see things in black and white. They see layers, contradictions, and complexities that most people overlook. People are often drawn to them for this, feeling both fascinated and a bit uneasy around someone who seems to understand things beyond the surface. They're not trying to be mysterious. They simply see through illusions and aren't interested in pretending otherwise. When they speak, they can make people feel like they're looking at themselves, or at life, in a way they haven't before. And for some, that's unsettling. What really makes the chosen one stand out is that they aren't swayed by trends or popular opinions. They won't go along with the crowd just to fit in, nor will they change their values for the sake of convenience. This commitment to their truth often means they challenge others without even trying to. They won't sugarcoat or play along when they see through the games people play. And it's this unique mix of wisdom and independence that makes them hard to define. impossible to predict, and sometimes difficult to understand. They live in a world all their own, and while people are intrigued by it, very few can truly meet them there. Number 8. Boundary enforcement like a fortress. The chosen one is known for their boundaries, and they hold onto them as firmly as others cling to their most precious possessions. They don't see boundaries as walls to keep people out, but as lines of self-respect that define what they're willing to accept. To the chosen one, these boundaries aren't just preferences, they're essential to who they are. They don't compromise on them, no matter how much someone might try to push or test them. This level of self-assuredness is rare, and it makes others uncomfortable because it's a reminder that access to them is a privilege, not a right. People aren't used to seeing boundaries held with such strength. Most are accustomed to the idea of bending for the sake of harmony, to avoid conflict, or just to be liked. But the chosen one doesn't operate that way. They don't feel the need to explain or justify why they set their limits. They just do, and they stick to them. If someone crosses a line, they won't hesitate to enforce it, even if that means creating distance or cutting ties entirely. This unyielding stance sends a clear message. Respect is non-negotiable. Others might see this as intimidating or even harsh, but the chosen one isn't doing it to be difficult. They've learned that without boundaries, people take advantage, drain their energy, and disregard their needs. So they protect themselves by making sure that only those who respect their terms get close. This way of living naturally draws the right people in and filters out the ones who don't belong. People gossip, often labeling them as cold or hard to reach. But that's only because they're not used to someone so firm in their self-worth. In a world where most people compromise for approval, the chosen one's boundaries stand like an unbreakable fortress, reminding everyone that they're not here to be conquered. Number 9. Fearless accountability. The chosen one embodies a rare kind of courage that many only aspire to: fearless accountability. While most people scramble to deflect blame or soften the blow of their mistakes with excuses, the chosen one stands resolute, facing the music without flinching. They understand that life is a series of choices, each with its own set of consequences, and they refuse to shy away from this reality. Instead of masking their missteps with justifications, they take ownership, acknowledging their decisions, even the controversial ones, like a badge of honor. This willingness to accept responsibility is disarming. For many, accountability feels like a weight too heavy to bear, so they sidestep it, crafting narratives that shield their egos from discomfort. But the chosen one flips that script. They see accountability not as a burden, but as a powerful tool for growth and self-discovery. This stance can unsettle those around them, who are often caught off guard by such raw honesty. It's one thing to talk a big game about being responsible. It's another to actually live it, especially in a world that often rewards denial and blame-shifting. While some might label their boldness as villainous, seeing them as the antagonist in the stories of others, the truth is more nuanced. There's a noble quality to their approach. By confronting their own mistakes openly, they challenge others to do the same, pushing them to rise above their excuses and confront their truths. This creates a ripple effect that can provoke both admiration and resentment. People are drawn to the chosen one's unyielding strength, even as it forces them to confront their own shortcomings. In this way, they redefine what it means to be courageous. Fearless accountability isn't about being perfect. It's about embracing imperfections and using them as a foundation for personal evolution. It's villainous in the sense that it disrupts the status quo, but it's also profoundly noble, as it encourages others to break free from the shackles of denial and face their own realities. The chosen one then becomes a catalyst for change, not just for themselves, but for everyone brave enough to follow their example. Number 10. Challenger of the status quo. The chosen one thrives in the space of disruption, embodying the spirit of a true challenger of the status quo. They possess a relentless curiosity that propels them to question everything around them, from societal norms to accepted beliefs. Instead of conforming to what's comfortable or conventional, they choose to forge their own path, even if it puts them at odds with the majority. This unwillingness to play along can make them a target, often labeled a threat, by those who cling to the familiar. Yet, this label only highlights the potency of their perspective. Their views often feel revolutionary, sometimes ahead of their time, forcing people to confront uncomfortable truths they would rather ignore. In conversations, they introduce ideas that shake the foundations of deeply held beliefs, pushing others to think critically about their choices and values. This can create tension. After all, it's easier to maintain the status quo than to reevaluate long-held convictions. The chosen one, however, doesn't shy away from discomfort. They see it as a necessary part of growth, both personally and collectively. By challenging outdated conventions, they ignite a spark of curiosity in those around them. People may initially resist their ideas, but there's an undeniable intrigue about someone who dares to think differently. It's in that intrigue that transformation begins. While many are content to accept life as it is, the chosen one pushes boundaries, urging others to explore what could be. Their approach can feel abrasive, even confrontational, but it's a calculated risk, one that prioritizes authenticity over acceptance. In a world often governed by fear of change, the chosen one stands as a beacon of courage. They demonstrate that it's okay to be labeled a threat if it means fighting for a future built on honesty and innovation. While their presence may make others uncomfortable, it also inspires the brave to join them in questioning the status quo. This transformative dialogue can lead to deeper understanding, greater empathy, and ultimately meaningful change. In challenging the outdated, the chosen one doesn't just advocate for new ideas, they ignite a movement, encouraging others to step into their power and rethink what's possible. Number 11. Authenticity that burns. The chosen one possesses a brand of authenticity that burns brightly and unapologetically. Their truthfulness isn't intended to cushion feelings or play nice. It exists as a raw, unfiltered reflection of reality that often leaves a mark. For many, this directness feels like a jolt, an awakening that shatters the comfortable illusions they've wrapped around themselves. While some might interpret this blunt honesty as cruelty, the chosen one simply views it as a necessity, an essential part of living authentically in a world where facades are commonplace. This level of transparency can be disarming, even unsettling. When the chosen one speaks, they expose the unvarnished truths that others are too fearful to confront. They don't engage in the usual dance of niceties that soften harsh realities. Instead, they strip away the layers of pretense, laying bare the uncomfortable truths lurking beneath the surface. This willingness to delve into the depths of honesty resonates deeply with those who encounter them, even if it's often met with resistance. People may feel defensive or hurt at first, caught off guard by an honesty that demands they look at their own lives with a critical eye. What's often perceived as meanness is simply the chosen one's refusal to play along with social niceties that obscure the truth. They understand that sometimes love and compassion mean telling someone what they need to hear rather than what they want to hear. This type of authenticity serves a higher purpose. It challenges people to confront their own shadows, to question the narratives they've built around themselves, and to ultimately grow from that discomfort. In a world where so many opt for half-truths or soothing lies to maintain the status quo, the chosen one becomes a catalyst for deeper understanding. They may leave others feeling rattled, but they also ignite a spark that compels reflection and change. Their truth doesn't just cut through the noise, it burns away the clutter of dishonesty, paving the way for clarity and growth. For those brave enough to embrace it, this authenticity becomes a guiding light, illuminating paths previously obscured by illusion. Ultimately, while they may disrupt the comfort of those around them, it's this very disruption that opens the door to authenticity, connection, and profound transformation. Number 12. The silence that speaks volume. The chosen one possesses a unique power in their silence, a quiet strength that often speaks louder than words ever could. When faced with gossip, criticism, or any form of backlash, they choose to remain calm and collected, opting not to engage. This silence can be unsettling, especially for those who thrive on drama or expect an emotional reaction. Rather than becoming entangled in petty conflicts, the chosen one stands firm, radiating an aura of unbothered confidence that can be infuriatingly powerful. People who are accustomed to stirring the pot often find themselves at a loss when their provocations are met with silence. It's as if they've thrown a stone into a still pond, expecting ripples, only to find a serene surface that reflects back their own agitation. This refusal to react strips away the power that negativity usually holds. While others might feel the need to respond defensively, the chosen one demonstrates that not every battle is worth fighting. Their silence becomes a statement in itself, a refusal to validate the noise and chaos that others create. This can be incredibly frustrating for those who seek validation through conflict. The chosen one's calm demeanor signals that they are above the fray, unwilling to lower themselves to engage in trivial disputes. Instead of being drawn into the drama, they preserve their energy for what truly matters, leaving their detractors to grapple with their own insecurities and frustrations. This stoic approach can provoke a deep sense of unease in those who thrive on confrontation, as they struggle to understand why their attempts at provocation are so easily dismissed. In this way, the chosen one's silence becomes a powerful weapon, asserting their dominance in a world that often values loudness over depth. It forces others to confront their own motivations and intentions, often leading to a re-evaluation of their own actions. While the chosen one remains unyielding, they also exemplify a profound understanding of the power dynamics at play, choosing not to waste their breath on things that do not deserve it. Their silence speaks volumes, serving as a reminder that sometimes the most powerful response is to simply be. In a world that often champions conformity and noise, the chosen one stands as a beacon of authenticity and strength. Their unapologetic embrace of fearless accountability, unwavering boundaries, and fearless honesty disrupts the comfortable illusions many cling to. They challenge outdated conventions and refuse to engage in petty conflicts, instead opting for a silence that resonates far deeper than mere words ever could. This distinct approach to life serves not just as a source of intrigue, but as a catalyst for transformation in those who encounter them. While some may label them as villains or threats, it's crucial to recognize that their power lies in their ability to provoke thought, inspire growth, and elevate conversations. The chosen one forces others to confront their truths, embrace their shadows, and question the status quo. They navigate life with an authenticity that many desire but few dare to embody, igniting a spark that encourages those around them to break free from the chains of societal expectations. Ultimately, the chosen one is not just a solitary figure. They are a movement, a call to action for all of us to step into our own power and authenticity. Their journey reminds us that true strength is found not in the desire for acceptance or approval, but in the courage to remain unapologetically ourselves. They illuminate the path for others, urging us to shed our facades and engage with the world in a genuine and impactful way. As we reflect on the essence of the chosen one, we are left with an enduring question. Are we ready to embrace our own authenticity, face the discomfort of truth, and join them in challenging the narratives that bind us? In doing so, we might discover the extraordinary power that lies within each of us, waiting to be unleashed. If you've resonated with the powerful journey of the chosen one and want to dive deeper into the realms of authenticity, self-discovery, and transformation, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Join a community that values truth over illusion, and let's explore together the incredible power of being unapologetically ourselves. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button and embark on this transformative journey with us.